What's going on, everybody? I'm Corey.
And I'm Mignon, and we want to welcome you back to another episode of Tea
And Worship. Now, before we get into this great power pack show that we have today, we want to thank you, all of you, for watching us every week, man. We could not do this thing without you. We appreciate it so much. We want you to continue watching and make sure you like this video. Make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you comment. We want to hear your comments. We want to know where you're watching from. And also make sure you're sharing this with your friends, your family, your coworkers, everybody, so that they can get some of this good tea and worship. Now, we're not giving you this just for no reason. We want y'all to share this with everybody that you know, okay? So we are so excited today.
So excited.
Actually, this person has been here before, but we couldn't have our second season without this person coming back. Y'all want him back because we wanted him back. And actually, this great set, ain't this set nice? Ain't this set nice?
Beautiful.
This set probably would not have happened if it had not been for this individual.
Yeah.
And also, you know him as a pastor, but we're not even talking to the pastor today. We're talking to the artist, the bona fide artist, the Billboard chart-topping artist.
Yeah.
None other than E. Dewey Smith. What's going on?
How y'all doing?
We are great.
Family.
How you
Thank you so
doing?
much
How you
for coming
doing?
back.
I'm number 2 pencil. You did. Y'all look great.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
you.
thank you for coming
Thank you.
Oh,
back.
y'all
Coming.
We
upgraded
appreciate
this
it.
last
Hey, now.
show. Look at
Hey,
that.
now.
We're doing big
I
things.
see God's enlarging y'all's territory.
He really
Look.
is.
Oh my goodness.
But we learned he enlarging yours.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
You are charting.
can you believe that?
Can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
I believe it.
I'm next to y'all, absolutely. I can believe. Since I'm next to y'all, I can believe it.
How does it
Unbelievable.
feel?
Unbelievable. You know, something my mom always wanted me to do. Music was my first love. My dad put a guitar in my hand at 3. I started playing piano at 5.
What?
I had my first church job playing drums at 9, and then I ended up on bass guitar. So music was my first love. But when I started preaching at age 17, you know, people was like, "Man, come on, be a preacher. You can't do that." So to be at this stage in my life is mind blowing. Really.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's such an incredible record. Can you share your team? Like, who all played a part?
Well, I mean, I'm thankful that, you know, it's been a vision a long time. And I was having a conversation with some of our people, and in October of 2020, and I was talking to John Webb, who's one of our musicians, fills in for us, and plays for us, and is a producer. And we were having a conversation. He and our sound guy, Derek Stevenson, it was like, "Man, let's get in the studio." And you know, we went in the studio, and the first time we were there, we came away with 3 songs.
Wow.
I'm like, this is really
Incredible.
cool. And so John, Darius Polk was part of it. Jules Bartholomew, Black Elvis, Dennis Ross, Zebulon Ellis did our BG arrangements. You know, around that time, we wanted you to be a part of it. You know, you were ill at that time, but you know, it's the first one, so we got plenty more, and so I'm just thankful. I really am.
That's awesome. I mean, if you don't already have his new album, God, period, I don't know what you're doing if you under a rock.
Period.
Or living like under, I don't know what's going on, but make sure you go get it. And considering, you know, the fact that the album has come out, now you are touring and like you actually came here from somewhere else.
Yeah.
What's that like being, you know, the touring artist now?
Now, here's the thing: what's amazing, you know, and I didn't realize it until like my team and digital team was telling me about it. Like, okay, they went through YouTube. I never thought about it because I don't really watch a lot of that stuff, and pulled up clips of singing clips from church from 2000 way back, and compiled the views. We were doing a lot of old school stuff when I first moved to Atlanta, with church. So a lot of hymns. So a lot of people who like old school music would go to YouTube. Like, this is good stuff, a hymn of the church. So I didn't know they were doing that. But long story short, they compiled almost 100 million views of just with all the cumulative clips on YouTube. So it's like 100 million views of all of the clips. It's like, so what made you think, so people, even though you're new to music, you're really not from a YouTube perspective, because people know the church is a musical church.
Right.
So that's the piece that just like, okay, I've been preaching everywhere since I was 17, but it's like, wow, this is music. So it's almost like combining ministry with the artistry piece. So I'm learning about that piece. But I've been traveling. Most time when I go somewhere to preach, I'm gonna sing anywhere.
That's right.
You know, like me and Young's dad, both y'all travel pastors and sing with singing groups, and you're both professionals. So for me, it's like, okay, so if I go preach somewhere now, instead of singing somebody else's song, let me throw one of mine in there.
So true.
You know, so it's just kind of like I'm just getting comfortable in that aspect. But when you think about it, we've been doing music a long time, just not
Absolutely.
from the way you guys have done it professionally.
So we know if we ask you about being a pastor, preaching, like you can tell us about that with your eyes closed, sleep. You know, you mentioned that you're still learning, but what have you learned so far? Like we know you're still learning, but with the artistry, what have you learned about being an artist so far?
I think the key to it is being yourself. You know, I realize that knowing who I am vocally, knowing the audience who God has called me to be. And I know there are people who like what I do. So me doing what I do and trying to find something that works for me. I mean, you got so many incredible male vocalists out there, and you know, and most of them sing so high, the songs are so way off the charts. So to sing something that's mid-range that most people can sing is different. So it's like, just be comfortable in yourself, you know. Never have to sing like Zaccardi Cortez, but who can? But
Right.
find your good song and be authentic with it, and hope it'll bless somebody. So that's what I'm trying to do. Just be your authentic self and do the best you can. So I think that's one thing I'm learning, and just know what songs fit you, and really exegete the crowd. Like, who is this crowd? Which I do with preaching anyway. Like, okay, this is a younger crowd, or this crowd, trying to feel out what the crowd, what kind of music or what song would fit that particular context. So I'm learning that piece.
That's awesome. You could be downloading the new album, God Period. It's a shameless plug, but I ain't ashamed to plug it. So we were actually talking in the back about, you know, being at the listening party, which we talked about before in our recap show, how much we enjoyed even hearing that. Like, it was just mind blowing. And I was saying that my favorite song was Anyway. I love that song.
Got the victory. It's something about the
Yes,
groove in
yeah.
it. Got the
Yeah, it is a
victory.
groove.
I mean, it just make you want to dance. It feels good. If you down, like
Oh,
it's gonna put a smile on your face.
That's true.
You wrote that, right?
Yeah, that's the strange thing. Here's the thing what happened with Victory. I had to do an event. They had an event at the Stellars, and this was an event they were having during Stellars Week, an outdoor event, and I went, and they want me to sing the single. And you probably had 20, 30 artists there, and so my single is Your Presence is a Gift. So like, sing the single. Well, we're outdoors, people are eating, and I was singing. It's like, this is an amazing song that I love, but it just didn't fit for me, that outdoor event. So I got back, I said, you know, I called John and said, I need something that if we're at a park or with, you know, something that we can groove to. And I had another song, and so I said, I think let me sit with it. And so I sat with it a couple of days and wrote it one day, recorded it the next day, and you know, and Zip came and put some of the bells and whistles on it, but I wrote the whole song.
I love it.
That is crazy.
Victory.
I love it.
And that Victory got that James Brown funk on it, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, you know,
Make
when I play bass, I like funk.
Okay.
So I want to put some funk in there. So that's what
That makes
but
sense.
Anyway is a song that really is just, you know, so testimonial. It's one of my
love
favorites. Yeah, it's one of my favorites too.
It's a
Oh
great
yeah,
song.
definitely. So, you know, now that you are like really a true artist and you're touring, and like we said, you know, your album is topping the charts. Where do you want this to go? Is this, you know, something that this one album, or where do you want to go with your music
It's
career?
interesting you said that. Really, what I want to do, the most important thing for me, was the label.
Okay.
And I was saying to myself, one of the reasons why I didn't do music, because my mentors trying to help me were like, dude, preach. Because here's the issue. Most of the pastors who are artists, most of them, they might not want to say this publicly, but I'm going to spill the beans. They struggle because a lot of people prefer to hear them minister through song than through the word. I mean, Pastor Clay Evans, he would get, I mean, if you called him a singing preacher, he would almost come unglued because he
Really?
felt it was disrespectful.
Wow.
singing preacher. He felt you should call him a preacher who can sing. Bishop Marvin Winans has the same problem. Bishop Marvin Sapp has the same issue. Charles Jenkins has the same issue. Pastor Shirley Caesar has the same issue. Pastor Bishop Jason Nelson. I can go on and on and on and on about these great singers who happen to be preachers, who sometimes their preaching ministry doesn't get the same level of appreciation.
So true.
As a music ministry. So I think that's why the mentors were like, man, stick with preaching, be respected as that. But I just, so those labels, and boxes, I said, you know what, man, boxes are for things and not people. So God, if you gave me this gift, let me just try.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been writing music all my life, but I just stopped because I'm like, be respected as a preacher. Because it's just, many of them struggle. It's like, I want to be a preacher, but people don't invite me to preach, they won't invite me to sing. You know what I mean? So they struggle with that. They may not say it, but they struggle with it because they want to be respected equally in both. And so some I'm not going to do it.
Well, we hate to do this, but we got to stop for a minute and go to a break. But we will be back with more Tea and Worship with Mignon and Corey and none other than E. Dewey Smith. Stay right here on the Hope TV.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jermaine Dolly, Mr. Hello Dolly himself, and guess what? You're tuned in to Tea and Worship with my homies, Mignon and Corey. Keep it locked, y'all.
Hey y'all, it's Candy West, and you're watching Tea and Worship with Mignon and Corey.
It's your boy James Fortune, and you are watching my favorite news show, Tea and Worship, with my sis Mignon and Corey.
Welcome back to Tea and Worship with Mignon and Corey. We are still here with E. Dewey Smith, and we were just having a great conversation. And would you please just touch some more on, where you want your music career to go?
It's amazing that what I want to do is, since I felt like my gifts were repressed. The advice was, don't do it. So I want to be the preacher who says to others, do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to do more music myself, but it's really more about the label. I want to, produce music. So we signed an artist out of Memphis, Tennessee, Courtney Franklin. His album is going to drop in first part of next year, and we also signed another artist today, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
His name is Pastor Michael Lampkin.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was on Sunday Best season.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, out of St. Louis. Amazing singer. And Dana Soray produced his project.
Oh, my
It is
goodness.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Michael is an amazing singer. So his project's going to drop next year as well. I'm also working on getting music for our choir record. So we're going to do our first record, House of Hope.
Yeah.
House of
About
Hope
time.
music, House of Atlanta.
Awesome.
So we getting some music for that now, and of course Mignon is going to be a part of that process, and you of course. So we got 4 or 5 songs that I've already got submitted. I think on a record.
Nice.
And I'm going to do another album next year, but it's going to be all him project.
Okay.
So what my long-term goal is to move more to the executive piece. I want to give a place where people who are gifted, that we can put resources behind them.
Nice.
And because a lot of times the labels don't treat people right. And I just think that sometimes they don't know how to use the church and incorporate the church. And what I'm seeing now is church people if you respect the church, because that's what's happening with my record, is pastors and church people that are like, man, we can support you. Because when you're trying to do music downloads and iTunes and Tidal, you know, it's just hurt the industry so bad.
Oh, yeah.
So if we can help people produce their music, studio, top quality, and put our resources behind people, it makes it easy for them to go ahead and produce their stuff. We got a place we can do. It's a one-stop shop. We can we can video them. We can leverage our relationships with them, with the church, my relationship, so they have somewhere to sing.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to be a place where we can do all kind of music. So it's really more about the label than necessarily my own artistry. But although I'm going to still write and sing my own songs, but it's about building an organization that we can put people, you know. Yeah, that's what I want to do. If Hillsong can do it, Elevation Worship can do it, why not us?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's so true.
Absolutely. At the listening party, you know, they played a song with the amazing Lisa Page Brooks on there. Are there any more people that you dream of collabing with?
I mean, it's so many, you know. My ultimate dream for as a male vocalist is, of course, going to be Bishop Marvin Winans. You know, Bishop Marvin Winans. You know, I love.
I can't take that.
Yeah, I love
You and Marvin?
Right,
I
that'll be a
love
lot.
Bishop Marvin Winans. So I want to pay homage to him. You know who he has been musically in ministry, and also Bishop Morton. So that's one thing. To have Bishop Marvin Winans as a part of it. But it's so many other people. I mean, Young, you are incredible. Leandria Johnson, we talked about. We almost did something on this one. Just we ran out of time. Dorinda Clark Cole, who I love. So that would be my, you know, immediate.
Can't go wrong with none of those.
Yeah, but I got so many.
Right.
I mean, I just love the industry and love people who've been doing it a long time. But those are some of my favorite. Those are some of the immediate goals I like to make happen.
Yeah. So we know Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah.
What are we gonna get from you for Christmas?
Well, you know, I was having a conversation with somebody from Radio 1 DC, and they were talking about, this has been 3 weeks ago, the lack of new music for Christmas. When you think about Christmas albums, we still singing, Jesus is the reason for the season. So not a lot of, I mean, think about it. We still, every Christmas, what we going to hear? The Temptations.
Yep.
You hear Mariah Carey.
Yep.
You're going to hear Donna Hathaway this Christmas. So it's still more the classics.
Yes.
But when you talk about a lot of new Christmas music that we sing for productions, not a lot. So I had a conversation with them on a Wednesday. This was back in October. And they were like, we have a whole separate chart for Christmas music, but not a lot of new stuff. So I flew back. I was in D.C. or New York, I believe, and I flew back. And on a plane, I just started writing some words. And I got back, and that Friday, I called my producer and said, man, I got a song. And we recorded it. So I wrote a song called Christmas is About God's Son. So I think it feels good. It's a message of Christmas, but I think it's something that liturgical dance group can dance to, and I think it's going to be a part of. So I think it's going to be a classic song. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
I can't wait either.
Yeah. Y'all got to sing it for me.
Will.
Yeah.
Now, I want to share something that a lot of people might not know that about you, that you are, this powerhouse singer, of course we know, and preacher, but a lot of people don't know that you kind of introverted. Like you a little shy. I shared a story with me and Jan when we were gearing up, and I said, when I worked for SunTrust Bank, Pastor Smith would come and he would always be on that phone, and I'd be like, "Would you pay attention so I can help you with your transaction?" But I know that part of it is just, we see what we see on stage, but behind closed doors, you're just very cool, very cool, calm, collected person. But where does that fire, that power come from when you're singing or preaching? Where does that come from?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't know. I'm peaceful. I am quiet. The state when the lights come on, it's like I don't know what it is. But I struggle until I get to the lights come on. I mean, even today, even during this interview, there's a struggle. It's like, oh, God, I'm very nervous. But then when I get here, it's like, okay, something comes. I mean, and I don't know. My family's all the time, if I'm around people I love and I'm comfortable with, I can be the jokester and that kind of stuff. But other than that, I don't really see a whole lot. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what my dad's like that, I guess. You know, so I don't know. It was just hereditary.
He got it honest.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that, you know, like working with you and being with you in ministry, it's just hard to believe and accept that you quiet.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm with the staff and the team, you guys, it's like I want to encourage everybody and lift the spirit and make it the atmosphere fun. So it's work, but it's like I feel like I got to pour into the team to affirm and let them know I love them and you know and appreciate everything. And so you know if somebody don't appreciate it, it won't be like so equal. So those moments when this wasn't good, it's not anything that's intimidating because they know he's gonna affirm us, and if it's not good, we don't fall out. It's just not good. So I try to work hard so that when there is an issue, because I think sometimes even parents do that. When something's wrong, they tell you that.
Yeah.
But they never tell you the good part.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I try to share that, the love, to make it the atmosphere fun, so it won't be like a tyrant or people so timid to be make a mistake. You know. So I think that's and when I know people have my vision and love and support me, it makes me want to. To give and support them. So I think it's easier to do in that regard.
Understandable. I feel like Mignon is somewhat similar to that because she's, a little subdued, but when she get on that, when she get that mic in her hand,
that's a good point.
It's like, what? Who is that? Just to switch gears a little bit, one thing that I love about you as just a person is that you're so socially conscious and you are not ashamed about just sharing your feelings about, certain things that are going on socially. And, right now we know a lot of us have been glued to what's going on with the Ahmaud Arbery case. And recently, the defense attorneys made, this crazy comment about having black pastors showing up in the courtroom. So I just want to know your brief opinion on, the case and some of the things that have been going on with that.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I try to be aware of what's happening. Karl Barth, who's a theologian I studied, talked about preaching with the Bible in one hand and a newspaper in the other. And anybody who's heard me preach or teach, they know I try to sometimes merge what's happening in society to give a scriptural take on it. And so with that being said, I'm also a person who's for the underdog. And I hate when Christianity is judgmental and condemning. And so a lot of things I stand up for are when we just come at people as if we are just greater and better and sinless and legalistic. So a lot of things I stand against when I see somebody being mistreated. I tend to gravitate to those things because I know how it feels. And so relative to that case, I think it's showing us the strength of racism, but I also think it shows the strength of the African American church, that we're so relevant that they don't want us there. And I just think that sometimes we worship so much and praise so much and had a good time, but we got to start getting back involved in social issues. And I think that's important because a lot of young people, they want to hear our voice. They want our voices. And so I think you got to speak to what's happening in contemporary times.
Definitely.
Well, y'all, we're going to be right back with you. We're going to take a break to this commercial, and we're going to be back with our very own friend, artist, E. Dewey Smith.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back, family. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Look, it's Mian and Corey, and we have very special guests with us, E. Dewey Smith, and we're just excited. I want to talk about something that you said before when you were mentioning that you are aware of what's going on in the world. As someone that works with you, not only are you aware of what's going on in the world, but y'all look, he's aware of what goes on with us.
Oh, man.
Like, we're not just here a part of the ministry, but he's concerned about us as a whole. And there was a conversation that I had with him, and it was a hard conversation. I didn't understand it. And honestly, I didn't understand it until recently, I had a conversation with someone, I had an incident with someone, and the conversation that you and I had about loyalty hit me. And I wept and wept and wept because I then understood what you said when you mentioned loyalty is everything.
Wow.
It hit me in that moment. And I just want to say thank you for being honest and for being real, even when it hurts.
Wow.
Because in the long run, it just makes us better. And you know I'm about to cry. I be getting emotional, but I get emotional about people that God strategically placed in your life, you know. And I've always asked God, being away from my father, bring me a father.
Wow.
And that's what you have been to me. And you have seen greatness in me. And I'm just so grateful and just so thankful that you love me enough to even be hard. Because we need it, you know, and then you turn around and you love me, you know, and I'm just so thankful for that. So y'all, he's aware of to the point to where, I mean, he knows everything, and I don't understand what goes on in your brain.
History book.
Well, you know, it's funny, Mignon, you know, and you've been here around 10 years, and the first time we met, I didn't know who your dad was. I loved your dad since I was a kid. As a matter of fact, your dad came to Macon years ago when I was a pastor in Macon to another preacher from me. He drove down from Atlanta to just be, I didn't know he was in the church. This is in the early 90s. So I've always loved you, and you've done stuff when we need some studio stuff. I did the jingle one time for the broadcast. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I think you did the help with the jingle. You did the vocals for me. And when you came back to do worship, in a more consistent way, I saw who you were. You know, and just the gift has always been there. It's like, okay, now she's gonna. I didn't know about the leadership, you know, in terms of the organization and leading people, but I knew the spirit was there in you. And what you know, for me, I think some people they go for who's the biggest name, or who got. It's the people who with you, and that you are unique in that I think you learning me that. You know I don't have your back, whatever. If I don't like something, I can tell you, and you don't get flustered. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you're not, man, that what and it's like, okay, you're gonna tell me the truth. So the loyalty and being honest, and I think you can't ask for more.
Yeah.
If you got loyalty and you got honesty, you can work through any situation.
So true.
Because you got my heart, and you got the heart for the ministry. You love the people, and you love me. You know I love you and got your back, and so it just works like that when you have loyalty and honesty. And if there's something not right, we're going to sit down and figure out until it gets right, you know, and get through it. That's how I feel it should be.
Yeah.
I love that. So now I know y'all been waiting for this because we are so ready for this. If you haven't been watching Tea and Worship, we have a new game that we've been playing this season, and it's called what, Mignon? Church That Hook. So. E. Dewey Smith.
Yes, sir.
We want you to church that hook. So church that hook is basically a game where we take a song that's not a gospel song or a church song, and we want you to church it up, whether that's worship or a quartet. We know you love that quartet. CCM it up, worship, however you want to do it, but we want you to church that hook. So we're going to start off with, I think we'll start off with Turn Off the Lights by Teddy Pendergrass. We want you to church that hook.
I want to sing "Turn Off the Lights," hymn number 111. Common me. Turn off the light. Oh, light a candle now.
Yes.
Turn off the light and light a candle.
Yes.
They don't
That's
do
common meter.
Exactly. They don't do that.
awesome.
So y'all had no guests do it like that. I
We
know.
have not.
We
I'm
have
sure.
not.
That's that devotion. Y'all don't do. They don't do devotion no more. That's that real. That's some real hymns.
Right.
Oh my God.
E. Dewey. Smith. You ain't gonna get it like this no other place.
Nowhere else.
Every Friday night here on the Hope TV, Tea and Worship. Y'all look, y'all have been hanging out with us, and we are so grateful for all
you.
of you. Don't forget to like, share, hit that bell, tell everybody about us. Look, you're gonna get the best of the best here. We're so grateful and so thankful for our very own E. Dewey Smith for hanging out with us tonight.
thankful.
Look, did y'all enjoy that? Look, church, that hook is off the chain. Do you hear me?
It is.
It is off the chain, and it's only going to get better and better and better. But look, before we go, we want him to share a few words of encouragement, and then we're going to shoot it over to that performance by our very own E. Dewey Smith. Encouragement.
Hey, family, if you're watching, I would just want you to know if you love music, if you have a book you want to write, if it's going back to school, let my life and let what I'm trying to learn and do now be an example to you that you're never too old, that it doesn't matter which side of the track you're from, or the highs or the lows, the goods and the good or the bad. If God has a purpose for you, God had a purpose for you before you had a past. God had a purpose before others had an opinion. So live by faith. There's a book, write it. If there's a degree, pursue it. You know, and if there's a business, start it. And the God who starts always finishes before he starts. And so he that hath begun a good work in you, he's able to perform it and complete it. So you be encouraged.
Yeah.
Do what God has called you to do.
Yeah. Look, thank y'all again. Our goal here is to make you laugh, but ultimately we want you to leave feeling encouraged.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see y'all next week. Let's go to that performance.
Y'all
Bye,
have a good night.
If he took away the rain, how would we ever grow? With his love, he corrects us, so his will we could know. If he took away the pain, I doubt we'd ever change. We'd never know the power in Jesus' name. If he took away our thorns, would we ever pray? With his blood, he forgives us, so in sin we won't stay. If he took away all shame, we'd probably stay the same. We'd never know the power in Jesus' name. So I give you Jesus. He's the one who's always there. I'd give you Jesus. He's the one who really cares. I give you Jesus.
Oh, have mercy.
And that's the best that I can do. I give you Jesus. Jesus. I give you Jesus. Wow. He can do what can be done. I give you Jesus. Wow. He's God's only begotten Son. I give you Jesus. Thank you, Lord. And that's the best that I can do. I give you Jesus. Yes, I do. Nobody like my Jesus. You can always call on my Jesus, and can't nobody do you like my Jesus. I give you Jesus. He's a friend in friendless times. I give you Jesus. He'll be your friend, cause see, he's been mine. I give you Jesus. Oh. And that's the best that I can do. Listen, cause he's a healer, sustainer, provider. He'll be your protector. I give you Jesus. Woo! When your pillow is wet with tears, I give you Jesus. I guarantee he'll be with you throughout each and every year. I want to give you Jesus. My. And that's the best that I can do. Why? Let's stay close to the brother. I give it Jesus. I recommend Jesus. I give you Jesus. When you're down, do you know that's mine? I gotta give you Jesus. Why? For the step in right on time. I give you Jesus. If you're oppressed, depressed, repressed, if you're stressed, listen, he'll answer. Won't let you fall. Let it be. I give you Jesus. Woo! He's a friend in friendless time. I give you Jesus. My. He'll be your friend. We'll see. He's been mine. I give you Jesus. Nobody like my Jesus. Listen. I tried him. I know him. He's a keeper. I want to offer you Jesus. I give you Jesus. As you're watching right now.
Well, look, you might not be popular, but my favorite character is Celestial because
So one of the quotes that I wrote down in the book that kind of stood out to me was, "Love is the enemy of sound judgment."
She seemed like a very needy woman. And I can't even respect Andre, because how do you prey on your friend's wife while he's incarcerated? Like, I just can't get with that. And maybe I got too invested in the book, that